Peace, 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 peace. Welcome to the Extreme Podcast, episode number 4. Man, we made it to number 4 already. It's crazy. Yay. I am your co-host, Matuse Peace.
And I am your co-host, Abubakr Mahmoud.
Abubakr Mahmoud, what a name. Now, we in the building, and it feels good to be back. I feel like we took a little minute. Now, great news. If you're listening to this from number 1 to 4, you wouldn't have realized. I guess you would hear it all at once, probably. But we're at the point where we're about to go online. We're going to be online on the website, RaqībTaskforce.com, and then inshallah everywhere else. So it's really cool to be at this point where we're about to explore. There's a lot of great feedback thus far. So thank you to the people who have been giving us that feedback, no doubt. So Buckley, today I feel like this week has been insane, and there's been a lot of stuff that we can talk about, and it's going to be an interesting one, especially because of the guest, and what a guest to have. Like, if we had any guest in the building right now, this is the guest I want to have. Yeah. This is Basha.
Thank you for having
Regine.
me.
Peace, Basha.
Peace, guys. I'm definitely here to have great conversation, and I'm excited to explore everybody's minds.
No doubt.
I feel like everyone has knowledge deep within them and truth, and get to know each other and build.
I'm excited to get to know you. I don't really know you that well.
I know. Yeah. You was cracking jokes earlier.
Yeah.
I was peeping, but I was like, I don't know what he's talking about. But we'll figure this out.
Yeah, no, we established this earlier. So apparently some of my lingo is a bit too Australian, or as I
All right, so what did you say? You said taking the piss.
Taking the piss, yeah.
That doesn't... Okay, what you have to do at that point is think about it in a more literal sense. Imagine saying to somebody and literally meaning you're taking... I'm just taking a piss.
Okay, so in Australia we have something...
Right? That's how you felt.
Yeah,
you were
I was
what is he talking?
I'm just gonna drop the academia while we're
Teach
still
us.
fresh. But there's something in Australia called tall poppy syndrome, where we don't like it when someone is too full of himself and too confident, too grand. So Muhammad Ali, we would have been like, nah, he's not cool, because
he wouldn't have made it out of Australia.
Yeah, because we would have cut you down, because we don't like that kind of inflated.
I don't
ego.
want to say we, because I don't agree with that.
Well, I mean,
but I know it exists.
As the Australian people,
it does exist. The tall poppies.
Because we were commies anyway, so we're just nah. Isn't that right? Nah, that's not true.
Well, commies meaning what?
Communists. I mean, that's an American term. But Australians aren't communists. They're the biggest imperialists in the world. Anywho, so that's where I stand on anything now that we've got the ball rolling.
Now we have the ball rolling.
But
I feel like I'm an Ethiopian, guys. I don't relate to being an American or Australian or anything.
I'm with you. Wherever that is, let me live there.
Ethiopian.
I'm just...
Nah, I'm not about that Ethiopian stuff.
No,
I'm fully about race.
Ethiopian.
Yeah, he said...
As in Earth, the planet Earth?
Ethiopian, yeah.
Yeah, what's Earth? Everyone's from Earth, but no one's from there's no culture of Earth. There's state of Earth. There's no...
But hold up a minute. Hold up a minute. So you said there's no culture of Earth, but if you look at it this way, if you go to any one country, within that one country, there are multiple cultures. There are multiple things that happen in different areas that every area is distinctively known for. If you look at America, for example, you're talking about 52 states. 52 states.
Well, yeah, 52. Yeah, you can say 52. It's 50.
All right, 50 states.
In capitals, yeah.
Right. And they all are very different.
Hawaii is not their state. It's ridiculous.
Right, so they try to add that, right?
Yeah, it's too much.
That's where the 52 comes from. So,
really?
So there's such a variety, right? So you could look at Earth in the same way, instead of really dividing it in such a way where it's
Yeah, but okay, say for example the Hawaiians, right?
Yeah.
The Hawaiians, they get to be Hawaiians. They just want to be Hawaiians. When the Americans and the white fellas come in and they're like, oh no, this is just Earth. And they were like, no, this is Hawaii, you motherfucker.
But they didn't come in and say this is just Earth.
They didn't.
But they were
they came in and said this is British
They didn't know
land.
how to. I feel like they didn't know how to share the land as if it was Earth. Because if you are someone who is of the Earth, or just a person who is living amongst people and tribes, you know how to preserve and you move around. You become a preserver. You're like, okay, this has to grow back. I'm gonna migrate over here. It's warmer there. Stuff is blooming, whatever.
Yeah.
I feel like you become more considerate.
Yeah, the British wanted industrialized production. The British wanted this land to produce as much farming as possible.
But that's
to go
one
ahead and
man's
sell it,
plan,
make
for
some
sure.
money.
Yes, but that's not
the
the
British came in to
Ethiopian-
make money.
That's not the Ethiopian motto or MO.
Oh,
That's the nationalists. So that's actually a strike against your accord, not our accord. Because Ethiopians, they share.
Totally. I'm not saying it's great to be a nationalist. I'm
Yeah.
just saying there is good and bad from nationalism. Nationalism
okay.
allows you to have unity with the land that you come from, right? So you're like, I'm this person from this descendant of this land, and I feel right to have my people who've lived here to have our national connection and love each other. But at the same time, nationalism isn't anyone who comes through must die. Anyone who comes through just passes through. People can do that, you know.
What about sharing in the land, though?
Yeah,
there are
but-
places that they
But
welcome people.
you share.
Migration
You
has
share with
always
those who are in
happened.
need. If your neighbor is in need, you share, right? But you don't cause your neighbor need and then leave them there. You know what I mean? You don't go ahead and inflict torture and pain and suffering and then either rule and then build on top as Australia, or otherwise just leave it like Africa. And after you fucked it with your capitalism, anyway, I don't want to have to say the C word, but
It is a crisis. It is a crisis.
Yeah.
It is. It's a complete crisis.
Well, speaking about pain and torture,
yeah.
did you see? Well, of course you did. But let's talk about where did it happen? The white supremacy
Charlottesville in Virginia.
No, hold on. It was called White Lives Matter.
White Lives Matter.
Like if there was never a statement as it's like saying the sky is blue. It's like walking around with signs screaming, "The sky is blue."
Yeah.
The sky. Look, I mean, if anyone's lives matters by the perspective of the media and by the perspective of what we see, it's a white life, right? Like you shed a tear quicker for. I mean, I'm just saying that's the perception.
Well,
out there, right?
What color was Superman?
He was a
What
white
color
man.
was Batman?
Right.
What color is every hero through your childhood?
But hold on, and I'm not saying I disagree with your point, but I'm just gonna play the other side for a second.
Yeah.
But they were all created.
By white people.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Who
so
drew?
we
Hold
need
on, hold
black
on.
people working in the
Hold on,
industry. Yeah.
Hold on for a sec. Hold on. Let me finish my statement on this one. They were created by white people who created them
A reflection of themselves.
at a young age.
Yeah.
They were just artists creating. So naturally they created a character that's
Totally.
a reflection of
Yeah.
themselves. Now
Institutional
the industry
influences come into play here.
the industry that kind of came from that, right? That's the multi-million-dollar industry, but that wasn't naturally the earliest intention. A lot of these artists who created these characters, because they were created in the 50s or even earlier than that, some in the 20s, whatever. These characters didn't.
Disney, it was ages old.
I'm not talking about, I mean Disney, but I'm saying like Superman
Disney's
and
so vile.
yeah, Disney's a whole nother story. I'm talking about characters like Superman and Batman.
So DC.
Yeah, but that's DC now.
Yeah.
They bought these characters. We're talking about who created these characters. They
I have
didn't
no
create
idea.
these
I'm
characters.
not a person.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. So these people, if you look into them, they generally are these white artists.
Yeah, right.
We're talking about in the 20s or in the 50s. You've lost the whole point of what I'm saying, haven't you, Bucky? You have no,
No, I
idea
get it.
what
I'm just saying
right
they were just they were artists being artists of their
now. So
time.
what do you think about that?
I just think what that means is now we should get black artists or black production companies,
Right.
black media, black
It's
people
been
working
happening, for sure.
and talking about their experience.
Yeah,
and
that's been happening.
Yeah, no,
You have
Yeah, tell
shows
us
like
about it.
Queen Sugar.
Yeah, but-
like these shows are really, really good. I know.
I guess
like
I'm just thinking
I know
that
we're gonna
more-
get into. I think we should talk about the Mayweather fight too.
Colossal.
when we get
Talk
there.
about what? Like
The
talk about
Mayweather
I mean,
fight?
But I don't
Hold
want
on,
to get there
before
yet.
we
But
get
let
into the
me
Mayweather fight, I
finish what
really-
I was saying because I want to finish what I was saying real
Go
quick.
ahead.
Because you have shows like Queen Sugar on OWN TV. Like this is about a sugar like a sugar cane farm that was owned passed down by generations. You know what I mean? In New Orleans, like this is like a perspective of a black person that doesn't really see that they have much in America or anywhere. So I feel like there's just so many things that we could say that we have and that we don't pay attention to, that we're not appreciative of, because all of the things that we have are given to us for a reason. We just don't know how to utilize it. There's a keen separation between people right now. People who have good souls and people who don't. Whether you black or white at this point, I feel.
Yeah.
Not to get too deep on y'all.
No, get
because
deep.
I'm you know what I mean?
no, but that's it though. That's the thing.
Because I feel like every life matters if you
Yes.
if you treat lives with
As much as
respect
the way you treat your
and
own
so,
life.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Keep going.
Yeah, I feel like it's important that we get to a place of oh my gosh, you're human. I don't see color. You know what I mean? Like, I don't look at you like you have something, but it's something that has been plugged into our minds.
Yeah, no one should
It's
see
such-
color, but no one should have to say something like, I don't see color. Because to say I don't see color is to
Meaning
just
I
kind of...
see your soul. Like,
yeah, I
this
see more
past-
than just your color, because your color is not the
But
first
you
thing.
understand the perspective of that. You understand how far we could go. Just like technology not being reliable. I'm pretty sure we were able to do calls across like freaking like landmass and come together and gather and things traveled. Like just living off the land. Like just really being like in that element of like focusing on what is union. Like we're not in that place right now. We in a whole nother like space. I'm sorry, because
And
like that,
I agree with you.
White lives do matter, black lives matter, Asian lives
Yeah.
matter. You a human. This is BS. Why am I even talking about this? Why do we have to we're dumb. Like, we're just dumb. Like, this is dumb. This is like so like not progressive. It's just not. I'm sorry, I just had to say that.
No, that's the truth.
Continue. Like,
But it did happen. They
we're here
came
now.
out and they... No, I mean, if we discuss white and black by definition of people, it's a color. It's not a nationality. There's no land that you can call... Show me where black is, right?
Yeah, okay. Land
So-
of the Black. I'm from there. It's called Sudan.
Right.
That's literally what that means. Land of the many black people. You know why? Because that's where the first black people they met coming down from Europe.
So the word Sudan means land of the black?
Yeah.
So they termed themselves black? What was
They
the
were
word? I
they were
swear.
just the first black people that the Arabs people encountered.
Yeah.
Because they were like, oh shit, there's so many black people here. They got all these pyramids. Like, they got all these like mad infrastructure and like literature and shit.
Yeah. You know, Sudan was the name for most of North Africa.
Yeah.
The whole area
Because
was
that
called
was, yeah,
Sudan.
that was when it's like where the Sahara hits, where
Yeah.
like it gets
Africa
hot
was
enough.
Ethiopia,
that
land
your
of
skin
ham,
just
like-
Yeah,
becomes
yeah.
black,
It had
like-
many.
Can we-
many
can we,
titles, yeah.
like, move
But
on
so,
faster?
yeah, exactly. So what I'm saying is, but these terms, as they're not nationalities, though, are they? Because I can show you many places that they're just black people by definition.
Yeah.
So then what's black? Because all these people share very different cultures.
Yep.
So that term in and of
Black is
itself.
just how much melanin you have.
No, I mean, but it doesn't matter. You can have two people who are just as dark as each other.
Melon.
Is it melanin or melatonin? One or the other.
Melanin. You don't even know what it's called.
Melatonin shit up for
It's
Melanin.
melanin. Melatonin is what you do when you...
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, in so many places, you can term white or black or whatever. They just words of color. So regardless of them, because they're new age words, is what I'm saying, by definition of culture. So it's like...
This is a new language. We're practicing a new language. Just like, what? Taking the piss? What? Why would you even say that to me? Like,
Go
these
on
are new
about that,
languages.
though.
This is not our language.
But how do we feel about the
you're
fact
right.
that in the name of white lives, by today's standards, and, you know, there were people who came out with torches that they bought from Walmart.
Uh-huh.
And
The bamboo. They waited till it was summertime
It's
to do this.
interesting,
They
though.
planned this. I'm going to go on Walmart and get the bamboo because they got it. It's just so country.
Can we
Yes.
just take a
You
moment
just-
to
I'm
talk
sorry. It's
about,
so country. It's so country. It just
Yeah.
can't.
what are we taking a moment for?
to talk about the retaliation the police did with when they came out with guns
It's
and torches?
expected.
Like
No, let's
yelling,
talk about that
"Let's
because this is what I'm
enslave
trying to
black
talk
people."
about. I'm trying to get here. Good, let's get here.
Sorry.
So we had these people come out in protests.
Yep.
And literally it wasn't first and foremost, it wasn't the equivalent of a Black Lives Matter protest.
Yeah.
This was a racist protest.
Yeah.
They were saying Jew out, or you know, there were a lot of racist chants that they were saying. A lot of things were insinuated. They had Nazis in there, neo-Nazis. They had, you know, KKK representatives. The whole thing just screamed racism, right? Now, the police presence.
Yeah.
They had what, batons?
Yeah.
Now, I've seen at rallies, peaceful rallies
Yeah.
for Black Lives Matter,
Yeah.
with police strapped to the teeth, right?
Yeah.
You've seen this, yeah?
Yeah. Everyone's seen it.
So,
This is expected.
I've
Like
not
I said
lived it.
earlier.
I haven't seen it
It's an
like you
expected
guys.
thing.
But
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
you know, when I heard about it, I was just like, expected. Like, it's just like become a hot mess at this point. You know, I've been around it. I've been in the marches, you know, like this is expected. And like listening to people like talk about it, it's like interesting because it's like at this point, it's like we know this is gonna happen. Of course, it's gonna happen. You're angry. Black people in America are not in the, oh my God, this is happening. They're like, no, we expect this to happen because you are losing. This is what's happening. Like, it has to happen.
What do you mean you're losing?
Like, you're losing this fight of, like, good and evil. Because there is a good and evil, whether we want to admit it or not.
Yeah.
People try to deny that, but it is there. It has been there for history, like, lessons from when I was learning dumbass American history. Because it was just like, I couldn't believe that I couldn't find anyone in the book that I was reading that looked like me.
Yes. Oh my God.
I was like, what
that plays
is
such
this?
a huge role in your life.
These people don't look like me.
Socialization.
Like, it was such a lie driven in, you know. And I always called, like, education and, like, these British-controlled countries, like, stages, like, for you to, like, remove yourself from a factory and be, like, a drone where you just get a job and you do, like, this drone thing and you just, like, keep running on this hamster wheel. And so you expect things like this and you expect, like, you expect things to, like, lead to a level of fall. Everything rises and then it falls. It just, like, that's...
Yeah, life's definitely a roller
We
coaster.
definitely have history of that. So it's not even, like, there's no stress. You know what's happening. You know, we see what's happening in the Middle East right now, right? Like, everything rises and then it falls. Like,
well, I mean, all empires, by definition, have to have a rising point, a standing point, and a fall. That's like every empire.
Yeah. How long was the Roman and the Ottoman empires?
So they all
600-800 years.
They all vary.
No one ever thought those empires would collapse.
They never did, but they eventually do. But everything does, and you know why it does. There was a research paper written about it. I don't remember the writer of it, the author, but what he was from his research, and he literally studied the empires of all history, and he said they all shared in one similarity. They all had 3 sections, 3 time periods. The first time period was the insurrection of the empire. Those who worked to make the empire the empire. Do you know what I mean? Those who were there, the brunt of the force. The kings or the leaders or the fighters, whatever, whoever it was that kind of ushered it in.
Yep.
These people...
The pioneers.
The pioneers, right. They're the ones who... It's the rising of the pioneers, let's call it. And at this point, the people are invigorated.
Yeah.
These are the people who put in the hard work, and they see the empire when it becomes an empire.
Yeah.
And so those generations that follow suit, they are those generations that are remnants, but they still know the smell of that fight, right? Yeah. It always starts in the hierarchy. So it always starts with the elites of that society, never underneath. So the elites, so let's just talk about them. Yeah. Usually the elites, they come from families of people who generally were there at the beginning of it. Yeah. So they saw the rise. Now, as the rise steadies and it becomes the empire and it runs so smoothly, right? These generations now get lapped up in the luxury and the comfort of reaching the pinnacle of being an empire, which means you are the top of the world. Yeah. They get so lost in this illusion and delusion of the world over generations that they lose complete touch with the people that make the empire what it is, because they don't have no connection anymore with them whatsoever. The stories even have faded away. So even, the stories that they family ushered in of the beginnings are gone. Yeah. To the point
they never knew of harder times.
Exactly. So there's no such thing as hard times. So it gets to a point where that luxury becomes so hedonistic that it eats itself alive. Yeah. And there's such a stretch between the poverty and the wealthy until it crumbles on itself and it's just a decline because of that, because you don't have that anymore. And you see you look around and you look at what happens to empires, and it's like we live in a time of there was a time of the destruction of civilization. Now we live in a time of the civilization of destruction, where being civilized is to destroy. We destroy the land, we destroy the environment, we destroy other countries, we destroy ourselves. Our civilizations are now built on destructiveness. We compete with each other with how many bombs we have, how much wealth we've spent.
It's in excess.
Violence is
just excessively doing things.
It's just like
so
it's like a pissing contest of who's got the biggest weapons. You know what I mean? So it's crazy place to be in because we're all kind of all around the world. One thing, no matter
Back
what
to your
country you're
comment.
at, no matter what place you're living in, all around the world, you're kind of on edge, no matter where you are, because you have a whole bunch of people everywhere around the world with like a finger on a red button somewhere, just saying, "Well, I can press this. Well, I can press this. Well, I can press that. Well, I can press." And imagine this, all of this gets sent up in the air. So it's crazy. So I'm moving to Morocco. Get out of here. But
Word. It's so interesting what he said about the pissing contest. I'm gonna go back to your comment and why exactly I didn't appreciate what you said. I think that it should be removed from your vocabulary, brother.
brah, 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 brah.
What,
Shots fired,
taking a
man.
piss?
Yeah, it's like it is.
Nah, mate, she be right.
There you go.
Do you know that one?
Huh?
She'll
be
be
right.
right. Do you know that? She'll be right. It's an Australian slang. What does it mean, Bucky?
It just means
Why?
everything will be okay. Like, don't worry about it.
Okay.
Yeah, she's right.
And why is it a she?
Who knows? Because, she's all encompassing.
She is all encompassing.
More so than he. I don't know.
See, I think there's a deeper meaning why she'll be right is about a she. Because it sounds like somebody was worried about a woman and he said, nah, she'll be right. Like
Yeah.
she was hit or she
Yeah.
was hurt.
Yeah.
And none of your business.
Yeah.
Maybe it comes from that. None of your business.
Well, I don't know. The culture here, if it's Australian, I don't think you should be saying it. Just like I think English is.
Why? But
bastard
rednecks can be
language.
rednecks. I can be a bogan.
What happened?
Like American rednecks can be like they have their own.
I think
Well, I mean,
calling
Brits,
people
like-
rednecks is a term.
Is
that's,
it?
That's like that's
No,
a
no one
negative
says
term.
that. Even I try to remove certain like
okay,
things.
so I can't
period.
say these
Like even when
things.
you say cracker, you're saying like, oh, master, or like master who like told that
It's funny. I never thought I'd be the
overseer
one
to crack the
getting
whip on
called
my
out
back.
on
It's
What?
why would you call a white person a cracker? Because guess what? You're saying that they're whipping you.
yes.
Congratulations.
It's not
We-
it's
we
not a
gradu-
nice thing at all.
Huh?
No, but it's not a nice thing for yourself either.
Yes,
Not just for them.
I know.
Yeah.
But it's still true.
What do you mean it's true?
It's a comment on like
Well,
history, not like the
Well,
individual.
do you feel that you're a slave because you are underneath like a certain level in society?
I believe I was born into a lesser opportunity. I'm not
No,
believe
of
I
course.
was born a
I
slave.
mean, but how was that opportunity created or manifested?
I was born into a system that requires people to have certain names and look in a particular way to get ahead.
Have
in
numbers.
Yeah, there is. It's all institutionalized. I'm not. My issue isn't with individuals. I know everyone around me is nice and completely like not racist.
Well, I
and
don't
whatever.
accept that reality all
My
the time.
challenge is with the framework of how we live our lives, institutions that like affect our day to day, like the signs, the government like requirements they have to, the job availabilities you have as a person with particular names, and what's perceived as normal, right? And what we're saying is, in particular cultures, in particular parts of the world, there are certain views that are considered normal. And not everyone fits into what's normal. And if you don't fit into what's normal, it's a lot harder to get by. And that's just a fact of life.
It's true.
And some people can choose to kind of wallow in that. Some people can fight it. Some people can maneuver around it. And we all find our ways. But at the end of the day, we have to destroy it. We have to flip it on its head. We have to realize that as much as I am a soul and as you are as a soul and that all people matter, it has to be like that all the time. The way I see the world and the way the world sees me has to be as human as how my brother and my sister see each other. You know what I mean? Like no more than that. But the systems that are inframed, that are set up around us, accommodate to what the history had set up, what the colonialists set up. When the colonialists set it up, they set it up for themselves. They didn't set it up for us. Mm-hmm. They did not even be here.
You know that law?
Well, that's all. It's all a matter of power. That's
And now
all. That's the power struggle.
But so Bucky is saying that we have
don't
to
have the power
alter
at
that
the
power.
end.
Yeah, like we have to alter that power. You know, there was a law. Now I forgot what the law was, but it was that that they should bar this land from what was the terms they used? Non-whites, and that wasn't the word. So there's non-whites. They said undesirables. Interesting word, undesirables, and like dark people or like Asiatic people.
Yeah.
Like as a law. I mean, we had the
Yeah,
white,
we had the White Australia policy.
White Australia policy. Yeah.
White. Australia.
Was it the Cronulla? The
They
Cronulla?
went
The
to
Cronulla riots.
as well.
Yo,
That
when
was
you told
fun.
me about that, I was like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that was a dark time in
That was a good-
Sydney's history.
That was just Australian shit.
That is
But that was a
insane.
reflection of something that was underlying
crazy.
and maybe still underlying. I mean, we are dealing with a
Brimming.
crisis of information, misinformation, and people just getting caught up in emotion. And I think one thing that I'm understanding from you, Basha, is that you're saying that people got to look at it from a deeper sense instead of an emotive sense, because it's so easy. Ignorance spreads through emotion, through emotional reactions. Do you know what I'm saying? And people feed into that rather than actual information that's going to help them, guide them to comprehend things. That's why it's so easy to go against a group of people to the point where a genocide happens. Well, not so easy, but you see it happen from people who generally in their normal lives you wouldn't expect to have been maniacs in such a way, right? Yeah. Mob mentality and fear, it promotes these things. So I'm feeling like really what it is the medium between what we're discussing here is Earthopian mind state of, hold on, let me finish. Earthopian mind state of looking at the world as we are one, and that we've lost our comprehension of the fact that we are one, and that we have to fight willingly to bring back that comprehension. Like Neo in the Matrix, check this out. So Neo knows that all these people plugged into the Matrix, they need to be freed, right? But at this point, they can be dangerous, even though they're the very same ones he's trying to save. But until he can save them, they can be in opposition to him. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's that battle. And so Earthopian is like living in a world where you see everyone as completely equal, knowingly that many people may not perceive that. So it's not just accepting that they don't perceive that, but rather working towards them changing that. So us being open and not getting fed up not getting caught up in the emotive prejudice that can easily overtake us by any justifiable means. Instead of getting caught up in that, we have to focus on the fact that we have to fight that mind state, right? That people have. We can't go quiet.
Yeah, that's true.
Because here's the interesting thing: that White Lives Matter, that protest, and then
if we went quiet on that, they just get louder.
Of course, no doubt. So we don't go quiet. But that protest, or whatever you want to call it, wasn't a protest. Whatever they were doing, it was a riot.
They wasn't doing nothing.
Now the reaction to that. Remember when that car came in and ran people over, and it killed somebody? It killed a white lady, quote unquote white lady. She died for the cause of, colored people in America. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? So it becomes a point of what's just right and what's wrong, not what color you are. That doesn't define what side you're on.
You just said she died for colored people. What are we saying here, guys? This language is so weird.
I mean, when I mean color, I mean all people of all color. POCs, people of color.
Okay.
Not colored people as in black people. I mean people of color.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Because they won't. Those white people, like White Lives Matter, they weren't just targeting black people.
Of course, yeah, no.
You know
they
what
were
I mean?
targeting people who were fighting for that cause. It wasn't about like, oh, we're White Lives Matter, we want to kill all the black people. Yeah. Nah, they was like, y'all trying to take down our empire. Well,
exactly.
You are not an American native, nor was this place named America. Yeah. When indigenous people came in, you came to named it something, and we just call it America now, and that's what we going by, because we're trapped in a mind state where we follow history and we keep up with it instead of building our own off of knowledge and truth. It's like you're letting it happen because you give manpower instead of giving the creator power. People can't deny this. We're gonna say, oh, it's the universe that's giving me this, the stars. Right? And it's not true, because the universe is the universe. So who made the universe? Like the universe. Oh, the universe is the universe.
I love how
so creation.
Who made the universe? Yeah, but it's just like
today on Extreme.
We put too much of that faith and power into a system that has set us up in such a way, which we are failing, and we continue to go and do the same thing over and over again. Repetition is completely boring. It's so boring. It's so gloomy. That's why places like South Africa are lively, right? Because we still have some African heart there. But it's also like that history is insane. That part is insane to me.
So it's
How
about
could you?
letting.
Can we specify what it is we mean
I'm
by
sorry, 'cause-
repetition? What is it that we're repeating?
Because it's like the history of
Yeah.
people,
Right.
humans, human history.
Yeah.
We can just look at it like, okay, Sudan, you know what I'm saying? Like, we can look at it like the Middle East. We can look at it as America, which land came above water or however this landmass came to be. At the end of the day, we are just little specks on this whole entire earth. So it's like, humble yourself.
Sit down.
Sit down.
Exactly.
Be humble, man. It's crazy.
So we're wonderful words, Basha. I'm gonna say that because it's just like hit home, and we're looking at this whole thing, the White Lives Matter riot, whatever. I saw this documentary. I watched it with you, Basha. We watched this documentary by Vice, and it was about that specific.
Yeah, Charlottesville.
Yeah, Charlottesville, and the actual like group,
I've heard about that one.
the neo Nazis that are backing it, and they're strapped to the teeth, and it's just an interesting thing because these groups have always existed. They exist in this country. They exist over there. They exist wherever imperialism and colonialism exists because it's just like a derivative at the end of the day, right? It just happens. So they exist. Events like this, I guess, just bring them up. And then events like Trump coming into power as the president of America brings it up. Anything, even Obama brought it up because to see a black president brought people who were so against that out of their shells to be vocal about it. So
Out of the coma.
out of the coma,
Stay
right?
woke. I'm sorry. Because it's like so crazy. Like when you look at it from a standpoint of like growing up and not really appreciating how you looked at all, your hair, like, growing into yourself and you see the system from a place where you're like, I've been living in this for so long and how you feel. Even here, like, I feel like I have to, like, search for a black person in Australia. It takes so long to find a black person. Like,
Can you go back to what you were saying about your hair?
Okay.
Yeah, I want to know more about that. When were you just like, screw it, I wear hair as I want to, or how I don't?
Oh, well, like, that was when I actually started to appreciate who I was. Because my mother, like, she would force perms on me and stuff. Like, she would just, like, your hair's nappy. Like, so.
That's horrible. Sorry, I know why I laughed.
No, but I mean, it's not something that's self-taught. It's like a continuous generational situation. So, but I was in school, like, up to high school, you know what I mean? And then, like, when I got to college, I was, like, trying things and started shaving off my hair.
Yeah.
And then here you go.
Doing poetry, like, is that?
No, I didn't do poetry really. I just danced, but I just came to be like myself when I like got out of college. Like I just left because I just didn't feel like it was like for me. I was so angry at the system, and I felt like I wasn't learning anything at all about my people at that point. Like I was just like, why am I doing this? Why am I here? Do I really want to do this? Like, do I know who I am? Like, I just got to that point and just like...
And so where'd you start to find some of those answers?
When I went to New York, when I started going to New York more.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I feel like it's crazy because I'm born in Jersey, but New York raised me, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so,
right.
like, just the culture, everything. So I started to come into myself more. Like,
So Basha, I would like some of our listeners or a lot of our listeners don't know, Buckley may not even know, you're an artist, an independent, you amongst a multitude of things that you do. You are not one of these. There are things that you do. So one of the things that you do is that you're an artist and you make music, powerful music. And you were just speaking about stuff that like influenced you and affected you. And so can you tell us a little bit about what has influenced and kind of developed your music? And how is your music kind of
I understand what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? Like brought you here.
Well, to this place in life or to Australia?
No, I don't mean that in a literal sense. I just kind of mean like who you are creative.
Like now I'm here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. But no, I feel like it's just a general like place where you feel like you are alone. You know what I mean? You use anything like talking to someone or like painting or anything like writing as a tool to release because you have no one to talk to.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You listen to music, read books. Like you kind of just like grow into yourself in a place where you just feel like I have something to say.
I got my own space to be
I got
me.
something to say.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it definitely happened when I was in school. Like when I was in middle school, I was the quietest person. Like I would be so I was so shy, and like people would like raise their hand to talk, and I was like, I raised my hand. And then my teacher told me to come. It was in second grade. She came. She was like, I came to her. She was like, yeah, you need to speak louder when you want to answer a question. I'm like, growing from a shy person to like more like putting myself out there so that I can actually present a better image for like young girls, because I've went through a lot. My struggle is real, and my music reflects that.
Yeah.
And it's just a matter of me finding, myself even more and growing and just putting myself in a perspective where I can actually look back and say, you know what, I ain't mad at that journey.
Yeah.
All right, I get that now. But anyway,
So is your music a reflection of your journey? Is that what influenced you?
So far.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm putting out more music. I'm working with you on a
You are
project.
working with me on a project.
Zulfikar
in the building. That's right.
Yeah.
So we are working on a project. We're in a group together. That's why I wanted you on the show today, because for many reasons, you're definitely somebody who has an insight into a world that I wanted to discuss because of the recent events in America. And Bakri, you're shaking too much. I can literally hear you. Are you hearing it on the microphone? Can you hear him shaking?
I'm just
I know, because you're a fidget.
guy.
I fidget too.
Yeah.
So like,
Do I fidget a lot?
No,
Was
you
I
don't fidget at all. I think I fidget
It's excitement,
a lot.
that's all.
It's the excess energy in the bodies, right?
Endorphins.
I didn't go for a run today.
Is that what it is?
Adrenaline.
You usually go for a run?
Did you go for a skate, to be honest?
What do you mean a skate?
Skateboard.
Oh, right, you skateboard.
Yeah. I've already like
interesting.
really hurt myself a few times.
That's
but
interesting.
This is a new thing?
Yes. Like 3-4 weeks now. I'm getting okay at it.
I'm getting okay at it.
Yeah,
I like
I
the
can
honesty.
really go down some quick hills without really hurting
Is there a
myself.
skate parks in
There's skate
Australia?
parks. There's so many places to skate. You'll be surprised. Parking lots tend to be the best, but there's
What
like
is-
park
Oh, snap.
parking lots, like
Oh,
literal
parking lots,
parks where kids go and
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
Like just so many cool places.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't
Oh,
expect
I met
that.
this kid yesterday. We were skating like out in the barbecue out west. Like we're having a Sudanese barbecue. And I was bombed down this hill with my friend. And like it was just too fast. He had to jump off. So I jumped off and landed on the grass, and they like rolled their ankle. Anyway, but they were fine. And this kid comes and he told us how he tried it and then how he like cracked his head once. And then he goes away and comes back and he goes, I'm back. And he starts telling us about like how he loves skating and he does MMA and all this stuff. And I'm like, how many people have you sent? Like, how many hospital visits have you caused throughout your life? Because he's telling us all these incredible things that he's done.
Yeah.
And he's like, 15. Like, that's just the amount of people I've sent to hospital. I don't know how many times
how
they went
old
to
is he?
hospital. It's 10.
Right, so he's just so full of it right now.
Yeah, and he loves birds. Like, I know what that bird is. Then he just starts naming all these birds and all these birds that he's had. Like, this kid just loves birds.
crazy.
Such an incredible kid. Like,
Wow.
yeah. And we didn't get his name because that kid's going to be big on
We
there.
didn't get his name, right? You got every single story under the sun, but you never got
Yeah.
his name.
Definitely should have got his name, asked him some questions, brought him to the podcast,
Yeah,
had
right.
him talking,
He
because
would
that's.
own it. He would do so
I'm
well.
pretty sure he would.
He was so articulate and so sophisticated. Like, it was
Yeah.
Yeah, we
amazing.
would have to decipher between what was the truth and what wasn't, right? But it'd be interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I lost my train of thought. I was like, what was I talking about? Hold on. I was saying that
You're grateful to have Basha here from...
I was saying that, right.
And then you moved on to...
right. So because we were talking about this recent week in events, and there's been a lot going on in America, and you came out here, and we're working on a project Zulfikar, which is really awesome to do. And a lot of the stuff
Can we talk about that? Can I ask you questions after this?
Yeah, right. I mean, I feel like we've spoken enough about what happened in America.
Yeah.
Like, I just wanted to bring it up because it happened, and it's just interesting to me because I think...
Were you surprised?
No, she said that she wasn't surprised. I don't think anyone is surprised by it. But the thing, I think what it says
Are you
is...
surprised by Australia Day?
No, or Corona or anything.
Yeah,
Not
so...
really.
All right.
I think what it says, and you said this, is that it's just when the empire feels threatened. And it's like the empire within, as in it's the empire of white supremacy feels threatened because everyone else is just kind of waking up to it, even white people. You know what I'm saying? Like
Well,
everyone.
see, the thing that I didn't expect about Cronulla riots was that how they see Arabs. That's something I didn't expect because, like, it is
Yeah.
a community like that in America, but like, it's not the same. It's like no, it's a clear
There's a
separation.
deep-seated...
There's a lot of hate for Arabs
Yeah.
in this country.
Yeah,
In Sydney, yeah. I mean, in general, but there is.
I'm like, wow, that I
They
didn't
get
expect that.
Yeah, they get it.
So-
I get my life story to like I'm the living testament to that. The amount of racism I face from police, from the general public, from like in work, and I'm successful because I strived and continued, and I didn't let that like get me down. But it affected me. It affected my career multiple times. I had to switch things up.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah,
the
sure.
racism or the worst racism you've experienced through your life, has it come from people as individuals being directly racist to you, or has it come from the challenges you faced, as you've said, throughout trying to get jobs or doing things, or just throughout all these challenges in your life, or has it just been people?
It's been both.
Both.
Because a lot of those people are the system as well, but they were literal people who stopped me in the system, in the workforce or in the street. You know what I'm saying? Because a police officer is a representative. And when you get stopped solely because you fit the description and you got to sit there for 45 minutes while they search you and they check your name and do all of this stuff just because you look Middle Eastern. You know what I'm saying? You have a police like task force set out just for people who look like you.
Yeah.
I have a friend who's Fijian Indian, and he was driving a souped up car, a done up car, like a prestige car, whatever. And he got pulled over by the police because the police officer walked up to the window, and when he rolled down the window, the police officer looked at him and said, "Oh, you're not Lebanese. Go ahead."
Yeah.
Because he just anticipated that this guy would look Middle Eastern, and that's who he was looking for. So it's like you grow up facing that on an individual scale, and then in a system. Like I was a journalist. I went to university to get a journalism degree. I finished the journalism degree. While I was doing my journalism degree, for 2 years I was at the Daily Telegraph. I started there as an intern because I went in there for SBS. I did a story for SBS about how the Daily Telegraph is writes in a way that insinuates racism, insinuates prejudice, especially against Arab people, right?
Yep.
So I was there speaking to the head editor. Yeah. So I was there representing SBS, who were happy for me to say this. So the questions were there, and one of my questions was like, so how could you promote a paper that insinuate these things when you look like you're Mexican or Arab? And the head editor of the time, he chuckled. And he said, no, we're not about that, whatever. And I took an opportunity, and I was like, yeah, all right. Well, how about you give me an internship? I'm a student. Give me an internship if you don't have no prejudice. And he's like, okay, I will. Like he liked my courage to do that in the interview, so it worked out. And then I was there for the 2 week internship, but he took a liking to me, so I stayed on. Now during my whole time there, I heard journalists, and you got to remember, journalists are meant to be conscious thinking people.
They are
meant to be. They're the people who present. In an idealistic world, by definition of what their job is, they're meant to present the news, information to people. You're not meant to be deceptive. People are meant to trust you, like they would trust their doctor, right? You're giving information that's shaping their perception of the world. You're being paid to do this.
Right.
So I'm seeing those people in that profession say some of the most racist shit I've ever heard. And then these same people, one journalist came up to me, what he said, because I stayed there for 2 years while I was finishing my degree. So I was there. I was there under the promise that when I finish my degree, I get a job there. Right? This one journalist came up to me and he's like, so he's drinking his coffee. He's like, so you're Lebanese, right? I'm like, yeah, my heritage. He's like, yeah, and you're Muslim. I'm like, yeah. He goes, oh. And he was trying to be good about this, right? Like, he thought he was saying something good. He's like, oh, this is a big deal, huh? I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, it's a big deal for you, like for your kind. It usually doesn't happen. Oh, what the? My kind.
Wow.
Right. And listen,
whole
and he was saying this like he was actually befriending me. I was once in a car with a journalist and a photographer and the driver and me and another intern. And sorry, not the photographer. That's too many people. So the driver was the photographer, and another intern. And as we're driving, they're having a conversation in the front seat, and the journalists, they're talking about this thing that happened and it involved somebody Lebanese, and the photographer says, yeah, the Lebanese, it's in their culture. They kill each other back in Lebanon. The families murder each other all day. Like, of course they're doing it here. They're bringing it here. Mind you, they know I'm Lebanese. I'm sitting in the back, and like, I'm just listening to this, and the other intern is looking at me like, like, are you gonna say something? I'm like, not now, because it's as if they were doing it to get me to say something, to prove a point or something. So I spoke to him later, individually when but it's just interesting that was the environment. Now, what really stopped me Now you got to remember, I finished my degree. Like I'm working at my degree. I wrote an article. Because I was there.
I think you told us before. Yeah.
Have I told it on here?
Yeah. You can tell us again.
So no, I mean, if we know the story, it's just what I'm trying to bring out is in a professional sense. Me writing something that somebody like Piers Ackerman can shut down an opportunity for me that was like a job that was meant to be for me. That shifted my whole perception of what kind of career I wanted.
Yeah.
You know, even when I left that sphere and I started working as a freelance, I was only getting picked up because they wanted, you know, he's an Arab, he's a Muslim, he can go into the mosques.
Yeah,
and,
diversity quota hashtag.
yeah, but you know, and they were using me only for those kind of stories, so I didn't want to be part of that. Do you know what I mean? And it's just interesting because you face it on so many levels. And I'm sure that's one of the reasons why I connected with like hip hop music.
Yeah,
because I related to the struggle of African Americans, Black Americans in America. I related to them feeling oppressed in multiple ways. Their name, the way they look, how they present themselves, you know, whatever it might be.
Man, as an art form, I gotta give respect to just rap being such an effective tool for people to
so
communicate
real.
their struggle.
Yeah, it's so honest. Okay, you're a rapper. And artist,
Yo,
so go ahead,
you're
talk to
both
us about what
rappers.
that...
Do you freestyle? But do you guys?
Sometimes.
No, but Basha, tell us about expression.
Y'all gotta
expression.
throw it down tonight. I'm just
Oh,
saying
boy.
it's gonna
Okay,
happen
we can
because
do
we
it.
haven't even had a break. So we do that after the break, or we just do it right now.
No, we
But,
can take
yeah.
a break and we can
We
come
can do
right
a
back.
break.
if you want.
Alright.
Can we continue on the conversation?
Yeah, sorry, what was
Yeah.
it? What was the conversation? I mean, before we take a break, let's finish
Yeah.
this
About how you
conversation.
started,
Conversation.
you became a rapper.
Wow, all of that and then this.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's where the conversation.
Cool.
That's where the
We keep it
conversation
casual.
ended
I
up.
love
Low.
that.
Yeah, it's
No,
good.
I'm just,
Come full
I'm just,
circle.
you know, I'm thinking about the flow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I
Because
just,
Buckley was hitting us with
because I can
questions
do that
about
sometimes, and
Zolvar.
it's kind of
Yeah.
like,
I mean, we just go off in tangents.
love
That's the
that.
great thing about extreme.
it's a nice cipher.
It's a tangent land.
It is.
It's a nice cipher. I appreciate it.
So tell us.
Yeah, I said, just basically the struggle of seeing like your people not getting respected, and like you just grow up basically wanting yourself to stand out. Like I was one of the only people in high school that really was down to stand out, but with all of the other influences like weave and perm and like, yo, gotta look fly, like all of this stuff is just like materialism. So you grow up thinking that this is like what's gonna make you look good, this is what's gonna make you happy. And then you just go into your own little box and you find yourself and you just start writing. You just,
Yeah, right.
or film, do whatever. Like I
Yeah.
feel like it's so many different creatives in America now because especially Black people, like social media changed the game for Black people. People don't understand that. In America right now, like we have WeBuyBlack.com, like we buying all Black made products, like everything. You know, like laundry detergent, like this.
You can now expand.
There's
It
a
gives
whole
people
market.
the power.
Yeah,
right?
it's so crazy. Like,
Yeah, right.
so you know, it's not something.
What was
It
that?
could be all taken away at one point, but at the end of the day, I feel like when you view things in a perspective of like optimism, and you just continue on, you find a way to creatively express yourself because that's the child in you. You know what I mean? That's just you want to create. You want to build, you want to manifest, you want to do something that involves your progression and your evolvement. Because if you're not evolving, you're dying. Like, what's the point of your existence?
You fall into stasis.
So it's
Everything
like,
stagnates, right?
you know, getting to a point of realizing that I'm somebody that has a voice and listening to all the female rappers I was listening to. It was at the time that Nicki Minaj was out.
Yeah, right.
There was a bunch of artists out. I was like, okay, there's some New York scene artists that I could see getting popping. And most of them did. Like, they've gone on to, like, get Grammys and everything. Like, it's crazy. Soul Train Awards. And I'm, like, looking at it from a perspective of, yo, these are people that were very close to me at one point. You know what I mean? They progressively stayed on that path of making music. And because I was so unorthodox and so weird, because I didn't listen to, like, people were like, oh, you need to listen to this artist. You haven't heard this. You haven't heard that. I was like, no, I don't want to listen to no artist. I just want to listen to myself so I can practice. Yeah. This is going to be something that's different. I got to search within inside of me. I don't want to sound like none of these artists.
And you have such an unorthodox flow.
So, like...
So you definitely just found you...
Yeah, I'm finding it now. Like, it's like I'm mixing singing with rapping. Like, it's interesting, you know what I mean? And it's, like, nice it's textured. I like it. Yeah. But getting to a point of just, like, really not listening to producers, people, anybody, like, because I was around a lot of different, you know, people, but mostly men. Like, this is a controlled, male-dominated industry, hip-hop. Like,
West Club.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
So, like, getting into a perspective of me being able to, like, again, see my journey, like, later and say, like, yo, that was dope. I'm gonna die. Like, just, like, I'm good now. Yeah. Because I want to help young girls. Like, I want to help young women, you know what I mean? See, like, they have power within them. They don't have to rely their, you know, gratification on a man. And it's not to get into that.
So you think that's a distraction, that being told you need a man?
It's definitely a distraction because women are abundant beings. We give. That's what we do. We just give. Like, you know what I mean? Right. It's just like a constant. It's like, here, you want more? Oh, you need help? Here. You want some more help? Okay. What? Okay, let me take a nap. Oh, here. Like, it's like in our sleep. Like, we just know how to nurture and we just know how to be abundant if we haven't allowed our heart to harden. You know, like, and that's just you being connected with the one is, like, important. Like, I just want to get to that, too. Like, how I got to this point in life and my music and how I feel now, the music I'm making. You know what I mean? Back again to Zulfikar is going to be so dope. I'm so excited for that. Getting to this point, like, in life, I feel like it's right, you know? And inshallah, we could be able to inspire, you know, the youth and
it comes down to that, right?
Yeah, that's all. We are generational, man. If we do not inspire the youth to change things, it's gonna fall, all of it. I mean, we don't even know when it's gonna fall, let's be honest, because it's like, that's even that thought in itself is like, I don't even know when I'm gonna die. Let me just worry about the now. Let me just do something nice and small. Let me go visit somebody in the hospital and, like, somebody that never gets visited. You know what I mean? Let me just do something small for right now. You know what I mean? Let me just remember that I'm just someone walking on this earth that can drop dead at any moment.
That's true.
You know what I mean? So it's from moment to moment. But the music is something that is expressive, and it's a great part of me that I love. But I also became a doula, like, within 2 years because I love...
Yeah, so explain a doula.
I love being able to, like, be a part of this, like, whole entire situation. Like, it's
Define
amazing.
doula for us, because Bakri's sitting there going,
I'm so excited,
what's doula? Natural... Go ahead, tell him.
I want to hear it.
It's a doula is a birth coach.
Okay.
So what we do is we come in and we do prenatal visits and we coach the women before they have a natural birth, if they want to have a natural birth.
All right.
So either that or hospital birthing, you know. Okay. But the doula is there to assist the midwife as well.
Yeah. Right.
But the doula is more so like a partner, a coach, like someone that's there through, like, prenatally, getting you ready to have this baby. Because there's certain foods you should eat. There's certain ways to, like, you know, work out and stuff like that. So just, like, really being able to get them in a, like, progressive state to have a smooth labor naturally, if that's what they want. I also don't make women feel bad if they want to take drugs, but I just remind them, like, the plan and like, let's focus, you know. But sometimes, you know, seeing it, you like, oh, I could wait for babies, yo. I'm just like, this is crazy. But, you know, it's just, like, amazing seeing it, you know what I mean? It's just like, wow, like, it's amazing, subhanAllah. Like, I just feel, like, so fulfilled that I don't even care if I do music again. Like, I was telling him this, but, you know, it's just something that I feel, like, so connected with, that if I could do that, like, in my later years in life, if I don't have that much time, whatever, you know, but if I have that time, I would do it. And I would do that in Morocco for sure. Because the women there are going through a lot as well. Like, you know, and I would want to travel all throughout the continent of Africa and, like, really try to help women in that like, state and be volunteer, get my midwifery license in Africa. Like, I'm thinking about doing that. That's something that I want to do later on. Okay. You know a little bit more about me now.
Yeah, I do. I know. I know what your thing is. That's amazing. It's really cool.
Yeah, now you see why I want her on the show.
Yeah, right.
Because it's definitely an insightful perspective to have, and that's one of the things that Bakri and I always try to do is have somebody with us that has an insightful view, their view, their truth. Yeah, man. Because it's just a natural thing, and well, let's talk about the Mayweather fight.
Wow.
That was a huge jump.
Listen, this is why. Because we mentioned the Mayweather fight way earlier.
Yeah.
And I feel like we went so deep and dense. And Zovacar, I'm gonna keep saying it. Check out our Instagram.
Yeah,
all of
y'all
that.
are gonna come back and you're gonna throw something off the break. But yeah,
Yeah, we'll do
Mayweather
that.
fight.
Let's do the
Yes,
Mayweather
and-
fight. We'll take a short break and
Yeah.
then we'll come right back and we can
Uh-huh.
do whatever you like, Buckley. But the Mayweather fight happened today, so it's only right we speak about it. My brother paid $60 for us to watch it. That was important in my family.
Did you guys watch it?
We did watch it. We watched it at his crib.
Yeah, we
enjoy
did.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know already that Basha is gonna say that it's like a cockfight and
It
it's
is.
like a pissing contest and
I
it's like
cannot stand
Idea.
because it was just all it's off of slavery. It's from slavery. It's straight out of
break down
slavery.
to teach him, give him the
Why?
knowledge. I mean, I
No,
enjoyed
it's-
the fight, but you say what you got to say
It's
first.
like it is a pissing contest,
Mm-hmm.
but you know it's something that started in slavery. It was something that was used to destroy our own kind. Like we were fighting other slaves, beating them until they died.
right,
like.
yeah.
And they would get
Yeah.
them a woman and a beer,
Gladiators.
and like, oh, get that one another drink. Not even your name, that one. And they just sat there and watched you tear your people's like head off and like beat them with a hammer. Bring them the hammer. Like, what is? People do this in their house, man. They do this in their house. It's sickening. Just like that movie Purge, it's sickening. It's very sickening. It's a sickening mind state like that goes on within like this entire. It's definitely something that has been going on for centuries and centuries, definitely. Like, it's just disgusting.
Yeah,
I
it
just can't. It's not a sport to me, but when I watch it, I'm like, you know what? I would actually like to have tools to be able to kick someone's ass like that.
I personally, it
Oh,
would have
the
been nice if
athleticism
Muhammad
is
was here because
amazing.
Muhammad
Yeah,
would have kind of had a
'cause
counter argument since he's a martial artist.
I still want to
Oh
know
no, but
how
I'm
to-
going to play that. I'm going to play that role. And I'm going to do
okay.
it.
Because
Yeah.
you're in support of the idea of two people jumping in a cage and beating each other up.
No, not at all. I'm just going to play that role. So
Okay.
for the sake of for discussion.
I'm not completely against it, to be honest.
Yeah, so that's going to be interesting. Like,
Yeah.
okay, so chime
Because
in on
I
that.
watch boxing and I appreciate boxing.
Right. So this is boxing we're talking about.
Okay.
Now, for me, here's the
don't-
thing about it. When I watch MMA, when I first started, like when I was first introduced to it, I was like, nah, man, I'm good. Until I was kind of forced to watch a match or two, and they explained these athletes to me and how much training and what they were capable of doing, and et cetera, et cetera. And what ended up happening is I respected each one of them. I respected them as people more than anything. And I respected them for that. Hold on, let me finish. Their athleticism. Although I don't necessarily respect the idea that they beat the shit out of each other.
Yeah. Okay.
But I do but I don't see it as just like they're like
That's
there is something to what they're doing. It's
Yeah.
it's athleticism, right? Boxing more so because
yeah, it's just clearly more of a.
I mean
calculated
MMA is
sport.
like people breaking
Yeah.
themselves, like literally people dying. But in boxing, I guess you're still getting heavy hits to the head. But the lightweight stuff. So
Yeah.
the thing is, watching a Mayweather fight. The thing about like watching Mayweather, it's not so much about the damage. It's their athleticism.
Yeah.
And so
I believe you can compete in boxing competitively without necessarily hurting yourself for life or causing yourself brain damage.
true, but then you can also do some severe damage. I mean, I agree. At the end of the day, it's an interesting idea that we gather around to watch two men fight each other. And the other interesting thing is these two men, they build up this perception that they hate each other before they start the fight because you have to feel some kind of way.
Yeah.
And they build into this hatred of each other. But
not
by the end of
respectful.
the fight, they're hugging each other, right? But that hatred spills into the populace. And it becomes an acceptable idea to pin people against each other.
Yeah.
Like I guess I
Yeah,
ended up on
that dichotomy
I guess I ended up
of
on
one
that
versus
side of the
the other.
conversation. I'm sorry. I tried my best to advocate
That's a lot
against
more
it.
interesting than talking about the actual fight.
I mean, I don't know if it spreads because at some point, you know, you become aware that this is just a fight. This is just a game. This is something I put bet for. I'm happy that you want to move on to the next fight. To somebody, it's just another bet. Like to somebody, it doesn't even matter. You know what I mean?
But don't you think it perpetuates the idea that two people fighting each other is an acceptable thing? Like
yeah, because
so you
we'll
see
be
it in the
friends
streets.
after. Like,
Yeah,
is that what
yeah,
you mean?
okay,
Because
yeah.
afterwards we'll be
I
friends.
just mean
and
that
we'll
I
be-
just mean that a society that
Well,
adorns a sport where people are fighting each other bloody.
Yeah, but the
then
thing
in the
is-
streets don't expect people to end up fighting over anything.
No. But the thing is, the difference
Is there a
between people
connection?
fighting in the ring and people fighting in the streets is that the people fighting in the ring, they're not just fighters, they're experts, they're martial artists.
Right.
They have a particular skill set and measurement
Right.
of that skill. And
Right.
they're using a particular set of strikes and moves, right? So as long as
Yeah.
it stays within a regulated sport,
Right.
thing, like football. You know, when you got the
Yeah.
rules, you can't
Yeah.
do this, you can't do that. As long as it's like that, then it's a matter of how skilled each person is at that thing.
Yeah,
But when
yeah.
it comes to just chuck two people in the ring free for all, go all out.
So
But it's hard because it's mixed martial arts, and martial arts vary a lot of different fighting styles.
you talking about MMA?
MMA,
Right.
but even if you look at like professional karate and taekwondo,
You can
like
still cause a
these
lot of
people
damage.
really like can cause each other a lot of harm, but they like have the utmost respect
The
before,
respect
during, and
is-
after the
yeah,
fight,
yeah.
because it's about who's the better athlete, not who is wants to kill each other the most.
yeah.
Because it's not a narrative here; you're just athletes. Like,
Yeah. That's interesting. That's a great point.
we like to romanticize it, and that's how it seeps into society when we give these people kind of thrones and images and kind of cultural representation.
Yeah. I guess it just depends from sport to sport or form to form. Because you're right, karate, I didn't even think about karate. And karate,
Yeah.
I'm not going to diss.
Yes,
You know what I'm
you'll
saying?
get your
But-
ass whooped.
No, but it isn't even about that. I mean, dissing MMA probably get my ass whooped even quicker than karate, right? Because there's just what you were talking about, I guess the culture of it, which is such an important thing.
Yeah.
A friend of mine, who Billy Dibb, the boxer,
Yeah.
I mean, I come to think of him, he once said to me that boxing in the ring is very different to like a street fight. Like it's a whole different mind state, and it's
There's
not about
culture.
that.
There's definitely culture behind boxing in the ring.
Yeah, right.
There's culture
So it's
behind
like
that, for sure.
I kind of yeah. Well, it's an interesting conversation right there. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know where we all settled, but like I feel like we all just played.
I
like
think we settled
like,
in
we
the
all
idea
just
that
stood
no
up
one
and sat on
supports
different
two
chairs.
people being in a cage fighting each other relentlessly, but we kind of make leeway if there is some kind of sporting controlled element to it and if you just add respect and eliminate that whole I want to kill you.
That finesse.
Yeah.
The finesse that
you
extra.
Just be,
Yeah,
you
you
know,
just gotta
that was a
keep it
good fight.
classy.
He did his
Yeah.
thing, you know.
Sportsmanship.
I was the better man.
Yeah.
This guy. I just feel like the fighting in general, it definitely is a way to get things out. If it's more left brain than right brain, who can tell? Maybe you should exercise both equally.
Yeah.
Whatever you got to do.
The sportsmanship of the fight though today was really good.
No, it was great.
It was amazing.
Because they're both getting
You
paid
you wasn't
millions.
expecting that.
But I wasn't expecting that. That changed my perspective.
I
on
always
Mayweather.
be like the black man because I already know.
Yeah, you
because
always
he's-
voting for the black man.
I'm just like it's
Natural.
you have God in you. I'm sorry. Like I feel like you just been through so much
Yeah.
that you just, you know.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, look, Mayweather at the end of the fight, he was really respectful. He was a great winner, and McGregor was a great loser. I'd say Mayweather
so?
was a better winner
You
than
think so?
McGregor. I mean, he showed respect. The one thing I didn't necessarily like here's the thing. McGregor was talking about he wanted to keep fighting. He should have let him keep fighting, and I disagree. I think that the ref Bird did the right decision based on boxing, but in MMA they would have let them keep fighting. That's why he felt that kind of way, probably. But I really give my props to Mayweather for the respect that he kind of showed, and he brought up a great point. He said he had to win for the dignity of boxing. That
Yeah.
there's a respect about boxing, and boxing isn't just whatever. Anyone can come in and do whatever.
The
You know what I
culture.
mean? The culture. So salute to him for that. We're gonna take a break,
Yeah.
and then we'll finish up. Peace.
This show is sponsored by the Raqīb Taskforce. For more information, go to www.raqibtaskforce.com. Welcome back to the second half of the show, or the fourth episode. I want to call it a half because
Yeah,
it's going to be a
right.
much shorter fifth, I'd say.
We kind of go
We're gonna-
3/4 and then give
Yeah.
you the final quarter.
Yeah.
Let you have a little.
We
piss
don't end
break.
up with the music. It's always about the music. But we want to stick to the theme of breaking down all the issues we have. Like,
Well,
the
because you know what it was? We were talking about what we were going to, like, during the break.
yeah.
And you were saying something about politics.
Yeah, right.
And Basha said,
take long.
why do we focus on the negatives? Like, we've been trained to focus on negatives. Like,
Yeah, look at the bigger picture.
look at the bigger picture. And it's true. I saw this study that said that because the mind concentrates on the negative. And here's the interesting thing. The reason why your mind actually concentrates on negatives is because it's trying to keep you alive. And because it's trying to keep you alive, it's watching out for things that
Catastrophic thought is just as a coping mechanism.
Well, I
Works
mean,
for
just-
me, that's my life motto.
But I just mean, like, in the general scheme, it's going to watch out for anything negative. So if there's something on the news about a scare for a disease, your mind is trying to protect your body.
Yeah.
So it's going to take it serious, or it's going to want to look into it.
Yeah.
So we're attracted to
Fight or
negative,
flight.
right?
Yeah.
So that negative that we're attracted to, or that we need because of the necessity, they take advantage of it. And they present everything negative in order to keep you stuck and keep you glued. Because you're right, the amount of information that we're having, even though it's factual stuff that's going on in the world, we don't necessarily need to have all of that, and especially not at the scale where there's no positive. Right.
No, right. No, it's fact. Like, it's definitely something that's being focused on. And I think the more we focus on it, yes, it grows. But at the end of the day, we have to balance.
Yeah.
You have to have complete balance.
That's
right now,
true.
it's in excess.
Because
It's just so much of it, and it's just like negative, and it's taught like throughout generations. And
yeah,
back to what we were saying earlier, capitalism is the crisis.
Life's a piece of shit when you look at it.
Wow.
So always look on the bright side of life.
Oh, exactly. Okay, that was a nice end. I didn't expect it to go there. I was like, wow, Bucky, we're going mad depressed. His voice was all settled. It's like, life's shit. Might as well as look on the bright side. Oh, yeah. Remember, kids, life is shit. So just look on the bright side.
Yeah.
The bright side.
Bright side of life.
I mean, because the butts usually reference
For me, the bright
and what is
side
that
is
side?
another
That's I think that's your light inside of you. Because you can't dim your light for like everyone else who's like focused on the negative.
My
and
light,
focus on how you can be negative, but you probably not even negative, and you just start thinking, "Am I negative? Wait, that's you reflecting that darkness on me. I have a
Preach.
light
Tabernacle.
inside of me." You know what I'm saying? So that bright side is definitely the light within you, meant to connect. Like when you are someone who discovers that light, it has to be something that is like. I hate to say it, controlled, because it can be utilized in the worst ways possible. It can be utilized in a way of empathy where it hurts so much to the point where, you have to be consistent with spreading it to those who need it, right?
No doubt. One of my favorite proverbs, will and always shall be, instead of complaining about the darkness, light a candle. And I think that's what it's about. We can focus on the negative, or we can become a positive change.
Yeah.
Let's become a positive change.
I just want to say thank you guys for having me. I'm
Yo,
enjoying
my
myself.
pleasure, of course.
Yeah,
It's an
nice.
honor to have you, but I'm biased. So I'm gonna let Bucky give you the props because I'm gonna be biased.
Well, he's just because he's getting to know me. We only met one time,
Yeah,
right?
we did.
At the Sterility
Exhibition.
exhibition.
Yeah.
And
for the launch of my art.
Shameless plug, Traveling
Shameless
Stranger,
plug.
out now.
Our podcast. We talk about what we want.
Oh, of course. I mean,
We're
why
allowed
wouldn't
to
we
plug
talk about ourselves,
yeah.
right? So let me take
I'm
an
sorry.
opportunity to
I'm
doing
plugging
all right.
him. He's not
go
plugging
ahead.
himself.
No, you can plug me, girl. Go ahead, Queen. Go ahead, Queen. Plug me.
Because I think the book is really dope. I just read through like a couple of pages, but like the feedback that I've had from people like just talking about it and how it's like really inspiring them, you know what I mean? Like Sumaya, Miski, they were like talking about how the book's like, yeah, it's really good. Like it's so inspiring. Like
nice.
and it's genuine. You know what I mean? So
Definitely
I
genuine.
definitely look forward to taking one of those back to the States with
Well,
me.
you have one. I've kept you busy out here, so there's no way you could have you can't read that book yet. But on your long
No, yeah, I have a
flights,
24
You can read that book.
hour. Yeah, of course.
Then
Yeah. I have other things, that I'm reading right now.
more important things, I would say, definitely.
Yeah,
Trust.
for sure.
So, because we have you here, I think it's of so much importance that we get you to drop some bars.
Yeah. Can you guys as a duo?
Yeah, let's switch this around. Remember, you
Yeah,
wanted to kind of
yeah.
do what you were interviewing
Yes.
Zulfikar. Can we do that for a second?
Yeah.
Let's go ahead.
Yeah.
Zulfikar. Zulfikar power. All right, bang.
So
All right,
welcome
cool.
to the show,
We're in
Zulfikar.
there.
When did you come to be as a what do you call yourselves? Like you're
Zulfikar. We're
just you Zulfikar, the what? The group, the band, the duo?
We
It's
are-
just Zulfikar.
We're
Just
just
Zulfikar
okay.
music. Like,
Zulfikar music.
That's
right.
us. Yeah, when you think Zulfikar, you see both of us.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's talk the etymology. What's Zulfikar?
okay.
What
So-
does it mean?
Zulfikar comes from the term, the actual Zulfikar is the name of a double-edged sword that belonged to Imam Ali, who was the cousin and spiritual inheritor of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. And so the reason we chose Zulfikar, or Dulvikar, the sword, because that has double edge at the tip of it.
Yeah.
And so we are the double edge. So even though there's two edges to us, and we're individual edges, and we're
Yeah.
sharp for our own
You're both the
reasons,
one edge of the
where
same
we've
sword.
unified, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's a unified bond on that foundation, and that foundation is love, like truth, like haq. You know what I'm saying? Like justice, if not just us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And equity, because it's above equality. Because
Yeah.
you know, you have one tall person, one short person. They don't both need boxes to stand on. You know what I'm
right.
saying? To look over the fence.
Yeah.
Equity is giving everyone what they need in order for them to have that true equality. You know what I'm saying? So we representing the feminine and the masculine. But go ahead, Queen. You can answer the next one on it. Drop them bombs on it. What's your question, son?
So tell me about your music. What was the direction that you came at when you approached your music? Did you come together thinking, hey, we both rap, let's rap together? Or, hey, we both have this greater cause, let's use what we have to create Zovaka?
Well, definitely, I feel like it was something that was discussed over and over again because I'm kind of shy with singing. Sometimes I'll sing on a track, sometimes I won't. But he was like, nah, I want you to do all that stuff you do. Just be you. Like, don't. He's like, I know you got a nice voice. So, you know what I mean? He was giving me, like, that vibe that he was really excited to create whatever it was, and it wasn't something that he was going to, like, try to control. It was just, like, we both put our ego aside to make the music. So when we spoke about it, it was just more so about us traveling to meet each other, which traveling strangers.
That's why it's called The Traveling Strangers.
Yeah. The album cover.
Yep.
Yeah. And so we basically got to know each other from a distance. So like you have to really put yourself in a mind state of like, is this person really who they say, you know?
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Because sometimes you don't know, right? So meeting him and expanding it. We're actually doing this like the last because I'm leaving soon. Like, so it's interesting that we started recording like just recently.
Yeah.
Because it was like a very natural, like.
Yeah, we naturally went into it. We've been speaking about making music for so long. And
From the beginning. Like that was our first like.
That's what we wanted to do. I reached like.
Connection.
That was what it was because we connected with each other's individual music, the stuff that we done. And we felt like there was already a foundation that was natural. It was
so
natural. And because it naturally grew, we literally, the music we recorded, we laid down like 4 tracks so far, like the basis of those tracks. And we created those tracks with that pen and pad. We laid down on the floor and we just recorded a session where we just played beats and we just vibed and just rhymed and created bouncing off each other. So it was extremely organic. Yeah. And that really excited me because the chemistry that you have with an artist or a producer is so important. You know, because that's what's going to generate the energy behind it. Yeah, right. And it's amazing to have somebody who, because we built that up and we had our third eyes open, man, and we recognized the connections, the underlying fact that we probably knew each other in the land of the souls. Yeah. And so it doesn't matter how short or long you know each other in the land of the flesh, because people have deception for their whole lives in the land of the flesh. But when the soul connects, it's like you can really just express if you allow yourself. So what Basha said about putting the ego to the side is so important in creating music. Yeah. I want the best. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so the best is just about you being the best. So it's like, let's hear all these ideas.
Where does that want for the best come from, and what does the best have to offer?
I feel like the best. Okay, so I'm speaking from a perspective of making music where I was like looking back at it now. I'm like, wow, I've grown so much. You know what I mean? So I stopped like recording music. I just started writing poetry, and I just really started to focus on like my education and like the knowledge that I was actually intaking, so that when I'm actually spitting, I'm inspiring, you know, a whole mass, a youth, a generation, you know, because that's important to leave that behind. So growing into this space now, it's like it's an interesting, like I said this before, like it's a space where I'm like, I feel like this was meant to happen, and it's insane, like feeling that way, like just the connection of how we like relate to hip hop and stuff like that, and the music that we want to make.
Kind of comfortable and like or confident in where you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Both in our individual journeys as well. You know what I mean? Not just together.
So
but like
so we've come
journeys.
together now. What have we come to make? Can we get a bit of a taste of what has
let's
come?
do that. We'll acapella.
Yeah,
we'll just rock out. You know, so we can do 16s or we can do 8s. Basha, how do you want to get down?
We can do. Oh, you beatboxing?
Nah.
It doesn't matter. We could do 4s. We could do 8s. It doesn't matter.
Now, would you like I can play a beat off my phone, or would you like just the rhyme off the top?
We can do acapella.
Acapella.
Okay, cool. Okay, you comfortable now? You popcorn, you back.
I was making too much noise. I get excited. I don't have headphones on. You should get them to me. But
would you feel better with them?
No, I just like feeling like I'm in the studio.
Yeah.
It's your moment.
There you are. So I'm gonna let you start, And
You listen to your voice.
yeah, just spit. You know, you can spit something that you have that you
Okay.
like,
Alright.
whatever you want. You know what I mean? 16.
Extreme. Let's do this.
Extreme
Introduce
exclusive Zovakar first, like live broadcast.
Yeah, it's a pod.
Right.
We're on the pod.
Let's do it. Zovakar.
Many things I'm compromised of. People was looking at love like it's something strange. Chasing that fame, they was moving on and focusing on different things. We been on another playing field, looking at you, got mad skills, but who are you really fighting in the ring? Basketball swinging your dick low. Look at you, looking like a piss pole. Lil, I forgot you making shitload of money that can't act so funny, and now you acting strange. You in a distance in the range, but you was fighting too much. You couldn't complain. You was out there shooting so many goddamn things, like the deer in the wild, like you was trying to act like you teaching your child. Yeah, you're teaching your child to be so old, so senile and vile. Why is it time that we take things and keep on moving with trials that been happening since before though? Trying to spit this love for the Ummah, and you know so. I'm just keep on moving, yeah, I'm getting so ill flow, getting so sticky like honey, yeah, you want more? It's getting sweet, yeah, I'm up on the beat, but you can't even hear it, yeah, it's up in my feet, in my heartbeat, yeah, it's connected. I'm just a weapon. I just can't, I'm helping so many people out here. Yeah, we gotta stay away from the fear. I can't help it no more. Yeah, I gotta stay away from the fear. Gotta stay away from the fear. To see right here, and he gonna spit something that make you feel so clear. Yeah, it's gonna open you up and get real old. You can't even act like you really know.
It's the matter with facts when I'm touching your soul. See, I'm exposing the feelings and I be letting it show. And it's the reason it illuminates its natural glow. Cause I ain't stopping whatsoever. I just letting them know. My perceptions change through the pleasure and pain. I ain't selling my soul for no fortune or fame or no auction or range. And when they watching me came, I told them do it from the soul. The blood runs in the veins and it's deep in the roots. See, when I speak in the truth, I tell them see what I'm saying and you can see why I move. And I'm never stopping, forever popping, looking for better options to try to box you in like they give you a fed up sopping, coughing and that. So when I'm coughing out raps, I'm probably smoking and choking, provoking thoughts and it snaps. Cause I noticed the focus in what they did to Iraq. Man, that's just hocus and pocus. They got you turning in fact. So what they say that's innocent, what they're painting it white. And when they say that you're guilty, well then they painting it black. But that's deception with color. So what I wonder is fact. You is my sister and brother, regardless white or you black. But that don't mean I don't see color, man. The fact is I see the rainbow, the same flow that you hearing from me inside of the soul of my ancestors, written in poetry, deep devotion. I'm hoping that you just notice me while I'm writing this opus. We not afraid to spit it hard. I do thank Allah for the love of this overcar. We just two swords and we giving you what you needed. Spitting the truth, best to believe it. So I proceeded to greet them with peace. Whatever they needed in the streets, we praying for it from NYC to the Middle East, down to SYD. Then best believe I ain't stopping to get it popping to murder these beasts. Rhyme killer, Bashir, you gotta feel him with that real flow, gotta get him. You ready to get it back in on the microphone? You illuminating queen, I like when you zone.
I'm getting it in like it was a feast, but I only eat vegan. No, I don't eat meat.
No.
I know it's hard for you to understand this wasn't me because I feel so sad about the flesh I eat or that I ate in a minute. I think it's from Satan. Maybe it's just me. I don't know why I feel this way. Sometimes I gotta keep on like another day. Yeah, keep on moving before it come down. I just want to make sure you understand it's my crown. I just want to make sure the people hear me aloud, because you thinking that you know what to do with your life, but you don't really know what you need to do with your life. Yeah, you thinking that you know what you need to just do with your life. You don't really know anything. It's time that you focus on things inside of you that you've been feeling since a youth. Do you understand the truth in you? Looking at the color like it was something that it was meant to be, something that you could look at your friends and see, yeah, you related to me. Or is it color be, oh, I'ma make you my cousin like they do in high school. Everybody cousins, yeah, they wanna be a wife too. I don't understand this. We so young, think about everything. It's in our brains instead of making sure that we stay in our lane and read books and just stop macking like everybody want cook, and they wanna make sure they pushing all of the code. They making sure that the black people gotta explode. It's so sad cause I'm seeing it here and more, and it's here and there everywhere. Look at this, oh, it's been something seep-sodded in all of these roots, but it's sometimes that we gotta make sure we accrue, and we keep on making sure we do find proof, because if we don't, we just gonna fucking lose. Sometimes I know it's hard for you to look at me when I'm speaking truth and in this honesty, because you know that when you facing truth in the mirror, you can't even look back because you can't even stare it. You don't even know where to drive his hydroplane in, and now you go ahead and bumping and rolling with where it's Satan, and now it's time that you come in before you ever win. It's time that you come in again and again. It's time that you come in again and again. We just gotta do better. We just gotta do better. It's time that you come in again and again. This time that you come in again and again. One day we were queens. One day we were kings. Whatever happened to this distant breed? Who are you walking on this earth? You don't even know, that's why I spit the verse that make you feel it in your soul. Get up, you go. Get up, you go. You know you gotta just glow. Get up, you glow. I'm making hooks for days. I'm in another space out here in fucking space. I'm looking at the stars. Looking at the stars shooting far. Looking at the stars. I've been on Mars. Maybe in my past life. Maybe in this life. Who knows what happened to souls? Who knows where these souls just go? If you want to say something, go ahead and spit your flow. I love the way you feel, how you make the people grow, because they start thinking about new things that they know, or things that they ever didn't know, not before. You know, you gotta stay moving, keep pushing, keep grooving. Gotta stay moving, keep pushing, keep grooving. Gotta stay moving, keep pushing, keep grooving. Yeah, you so funky like the way that you do it. Yeah, you so funky like the way that you do it.
I break it down true and I let them know how I pursue it. There's nothing to it exclusive. The way that I made this music is movement with all I'm speaking. I'm reaching with what I'm teaching. I'm hoping that they be open. It's scoping just what's the reason. So why? Let them know the fact that I ain't stopping whatsoever. I know. Let me get the stack and spit the flow, cause I get cheddar. I know. Never sold myself, I know what matter though. Let them all know that the way it goes, I crack in that window if they seem to shut down that door. Job interviews, you gotta switch up your name. And I know the fact when you be spitting it, just switch up your game. It's this vision I was coming through, it's twisted again. But I see the same people bending over for a bit of the fame. It's a shame what they do to the brain, but you could tell we rebel seeking heaven while we walking through hell. So we spit in the fire, I desire a higher thought. And we all know that it rises and falls like empires, of course, but you never saw it, so it's split like divorce. All I do is spit it raw, could care less if I'm a boss. I would rather be free than trapped and enslaved. So nowadays you walk around with these bracelets and chains, and it just looks like slavery that's keeping with shines. But I can recognize the truth, and it's a matter of time. So if you open your mind, you can see what you find, and it's the fact that it's given this revelation divine. And I'm just hoping you people, cause you can see we go hard. Two edges to the same sword, they call it silver car.
Sing, 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 sing.
Ta 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 ta. Matuse Bush on Extreme.
Yes, extreme. Yo, Basha, many blessings to you. Thank you for rocking out with me. Thank you for rocking out with us for this evening.
Where do we find both you guys to listen to you guys as a
Zulfikar. Everything's Zulfikar music. No,
Go ahead. Tell them about
Instagram.
Yeah,
you go ahead.
Okay.
Okay.
You
got it. You got it.
So Zulfikar, you can find us on
ZUL.
So it's ZULF. I.
I thought it was I. Is it I?
Yeah, ZUL. Hold on, let's start again. You confused me. Right. ZULF.
Did you? We just said I again. You see what happened?
I said F. You said I. Where you getting the I from?
ZULF.
Didn't I say F before?
Nah, you said I after F.
No, you said I before.
Maybe I messed up.
I was like, wait.
Let's do it right this time. ZULFIKAR.
Zulfikar.
Hold on, let me do it.
Fiqar.
Yeah, so Z. Oh Lord, Basha.
ZULFIQAR.
Yeah.
Music,
Zulfikar.
MUSIC.
Yeah.
On Gmail, get us on
Oh,
on
that's
Instagram.
funny.
Get it, holler at us on Instagram. Follow
That
us.
was a great plugin, guys. Well done.
That was 2 and Sense, right?
Yo.
So you can find off that page. You can find Basha. You can find her stuff. Her name is BOSHIA. Look her up on YouTube, on iTunes, on Bandcamp.
Bandcamp. I don't have any music on iTunes yet. I'm gonna put out my album. It's coming soon. It's called Young Muslima. So I want everyone to check that out.
Inshallah.
It's, inshallah,
That
be
sounds
out next year. I'm thinking next year.
Awesome,
Probably be
cool.
the best time to put it out. But I'm just taking my time with that. I'm actually working with a dope Punjabi like producer, and I really want to add some like really dope Punjabi like Sufi sounds and stuff.
Sweet.
So I'm definitely excited about that. And we're working on Traveling Strangers album, so I have 2 projects in the works right now. And I'm always working, and I don't feel the need to like not do multiple
That's
projects.
amazing.
Yeah. And I'm happy to be here on Extreme.
That's
Podcast.
good
Yeah.
news for us. There's going to be more of you. So watch this space.
Yeah, watch this space.
And thank you
Listen
for
to this
joining
space.
us on Extreme. Well, I'm your host, Abubakr.
And I'm your co-host, Matuse Peace.
And we've had Bosha with us today. Thank you for being
Thank
with us.
you.
Basha. And you can catch us the next time round,
Yeah.
if there is a next time round.
On Extreme. There will be.
No, I don't mean because of us. I just mean because you don't know when the world's going to end.
That's true.
That kind of next time
Yeah,
round.
any week someone can press a button and it's all over.
You know what I mean?
And
Word
it
out to
saves
the
me
red
having to
buttons in
get
the
up.
world. Yeah, we don't have to get
Yeah.
up in the morning for this
Yeah.
world routine. All right, so everybody enjoy your day.
Yeah, thank you.
And
Bye.
that was
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
Walaikum salam.